when we plan, it's important that we recognize the different determinants of curriculum. The determinants of curriculum, unang-una sa lahat ay learners. Okay? If you see a question in left, no, na which determinant of curriculum ang may pinakamalaking factor, it would always be the learners. Learners po ang may pinakamalaking factor, no, ng changes natin sa curriculum or curriculum planning. Anyway, can you hear me po? Parang nagloloko po yung internet ko. Hindi naman. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes po,
Yes
sir.
po, sir.
Yes po.
So, the next one is society. As I have mentioned kanina, paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, no, the changes in the society affects the education system. And the society to progress economically must progress educationally. This is observable in different countries, di ba? Ang mga bansa na magaganda ang educational system, sila din ang may mga magagandang ekonomiya. And of course, knowledge. Existing knowledge. Okay? Set up an environment which will change all students to master knowledge. An existing knowledge that uh, for this case, no. Kapag gumagawa tayo ng learning plan, again, or curriculum plan, you have to first consider the learner. Sino nga ba ang customers mo? Anong year level lang ang i-cover natin? Ano yung age range nila? Ano yung level of maturity ng mga students na to? The second one is society. Is it an urbanized area, a rural area? Anong state of society nila? Do they have a good economic state? Third is knowledge. You select existing knowledge dun sa discussion natin sa selecting content. Doon sa existing knowledge na yun, mamimili ka ng content na makikita mong relevant pa on the basis of the selection of content. Ayun yung ilalagay mo ngayon sa iyong curriculum plan. So, needs assessment is completed to identify the strengths and weaknesses of the existing curriculum situations and to provide directions for their improvement or change. Mamaya pag-uusapan natin to. Needs assessment is very important kasi yan yung magiging basis mo sa kung ano nga ba yung babaguhin mo sa curriculum or i-improve mo sa curriculum. So as teachers, no, we have to recognize the strengths and weaknesses of the educational system that we have right now. Okay. Formulating goals. So goals are statements of endpoints or outcomes of education statement of purpose. By analyzing the school goals, we can determine the scope of its entire educational program. So when we create a goal, again, anong difference ng goal compared to objective and aims? Aims is longer, objectives is shorter. Goals are specific to a certain program or a certain course. So ano yung sources of goals natin? Again, ang sources of goals natin, yun din yung determinants natin. Siyempre, babalik ka doon sa basis of your development of curriculum planning, no? Learners pa rin, no? The first source of goal are learners. The purpose, interest, and developmental needs of the characteristics of the learner should guide the choice of appropriate goals. And then next, of course, society, kung ano yung existing behavior or existing accepted forms of educational system at that time of the society, ayun yung gagawin natin. Kasi you have to follow din, di ba? Not that I'm saying that education should conform only on the society. Instead, no, may pagkakataon na kailangan talaga mag-conform ng educational system to the society and vice versa. And of course, fund of knowledge. Bakit fund of knowledge? Again, existing knowledge. Kasi you cannot include in the goals naman yung mga non-existing knowledge pa. Bakit fund? Bakit may non-existing? These are knowledge to come. You are recognizing future knowledge to come. Yung mga karunungan pa na paparating. Now, what is curriculum designing? So, kanina sinabi natin, no, sa curriculum planning, it's a process of, developing curriculum goals, di ba? So we talked about source determinants and sources of goals. Now, curriculum designing. When we are designing, no, is concerned with the nature and arrangement of the four basic particular parts. Now, the four basic particular parts, later pag-uusapan natin yon, but mainly the para masabi ko na din, no, the first one is generating aims, goals, and objectives. Uh, learning content, ang pangalawa, learning experience, and evaluation, ang pangapat. Okay, sources of designs. Now, the sources of designs are first, science. Not science as a field of knowledge, but the approach of scientific method, no? Kung paano natin makikreate yung curriculum design. Next is society. Schools should draw its deals for a curriculum from the analysis of the social situations. And of course, as for several resources then, no, a lot recognizes the divine intervention or divine source, eternal source, no. Designers should draw from the past for guidance as to what is appropriate for the content, and depending again on the belief, no. Sabihin natin in a country that is have a different religion, no, a different predominant faith, still naka-adhere pa rin yung curriculum nila doon. Knowledge, again, what knowledge is most worth? Ibig sabihin, ano yung knowledge na pinakakailangan matutunan ng bata? Okay? And of course, learners. Learners' curriculum should be derived from what we know about learners, how he or she learns from attitudes, generates interests, and develop values. Okay. Now, what are the dimensions of curriculum? Ang sagot dito ay basics lang. Basics. Lagi yung tatandaan yung mnemonic na yon para wag kayong malito. What are the dimensions of curriculum? The answer is basics. We have balance, articulation, scope, integration, continuity, and sequence. Okay? Isa-isahin natin ito, mabilis lang. Okay, again, if I ask what are the dimensions of curriculum, the answer is balance, articulation, scope, integration, continuity, and sequence. Ito yung mga dapat chine-check natin kapag tayo gumagawa ng lesson. Okay? Okay. Basics. Okay. B stands for balance. So equitable distribution of content, time, experience, and other elements of design. So having a balanced curriculum involves constant modification as well as balance in philosophy and psychology of learners. So tatandaan natin, no, we do not concentrate the difficult subjects only in 1-year level. Sinasabi nila, sir, mahirap po ang grade 10. Sir, mahirap po ang grade 9. Nasa 3rd year and 4th year ang mga mahihirap na subject. But take note, there are contents, no, that are not that difficult in a certain year level, in each year level, and certain topics also that are very difficult in each level. Ang distribution po ng learning content ng per year level ay adequate or balanced. What I'm trying to say is, kaya ka lang naman nahihirapan sa 3rd year and 4th year kasi hindi mo nakuha yung expected outcomes na dapat nakuha mo from first year and 2nd year. But if you are able to attain this developmentally, no, somehow hindi marirealize mo na each year level mahirap talaga. And each year level may madali at may mahirap na part. Okay? Because you distributed the learning content and learning experiences properly. Okay? Wala pong year level na mas madali or mas mahirap. Next is articulation. Articulation is interrelatedness of various aspects of the curriculum, shows the horizontal and vertical alignment per se. Smooth flow of curriculum, ang gusto natin dito ay seamlessness of instruction. So, iniiwasan natin, no, gusto nating maranasan ng bata yung smooth flow of discussion. Ayaw natin ng tawag doon, putol-putol or staggered approach on delivering content. Okay? Next is scope. Okay, so scope, papasok dito yung breadth and depth. Dito kayo mag-uusap ng mga kapwa mo, content experts, kung gaano kalalim at kahaba yung discussions ninyo pagdating sa isang topic. Okay? In order, of course, to prevent other curricular problems like curriculum gap and curriculum overlap. Content, topic, and learning experience should also be discussed here. Consider the objectives to prevent knowledge explosion. Kasi baka mamaya, yung subject mo, ang hirap na, nilaliman mo pa, nilawakan mo na, kung di ba naman, di ba, di kawawa yung bata. Integration refers to the linking of all types of knowledge and experience contained within the curriculum plan. The offering of the subjects per year level is adequate. Dapat nakikita ng bata ang relatedness ng mga subjects na offered, no? Subjects na offered sa isang year level, tapos marirealize niya, parang parang pwede ko tong i-correlate or pwede ko tong nakakatulong yung tinuro ni sir sa inaaral namin ngayon, sa iba naming subject, pero same year level. Okay? Students are able to integrate the subject, no? Kasi ang placement of subjects, no, dapat, and placement of learning content should be appropriate and can be integrable. Yung panghuling pangalawa, magkapatid ito, continuity and sequence. Hindi ka magkakaroon ng continuity kapag hindi properly sequenced yung content mo. So continuity of knowledge, consider the spiral curriculum. Philippines, ang K-12 program natin is spiral progression. Spiral progression tayo. So as you increase, as you go up, no, the difficulty of the content also increases. Again, but then again, dapat nakakasabay yun sa level of maturity ng mga bata. Maturation nila. The next is sequence. So provides continuous and cumulative learning. Okay. So these are the dimensions of curriculum. Lagi yung tatandaan, basics. Okay? Now, there are, I'm sure na-discuss na din ito sa inyo before, no, principles of sequence. Principles of sequence depending on the subject matter, ha. Sa science, simple to complex ang approach namin. Simple to complex ang approach. Pero sa integrated science ngayon sa K-12, apart from simple to complex, prerequisite learning pa yan. Ito yung mga subjects na kailangan may patik muna yung first subject before yung second one. Sa K-12, we have Gen Chem 1, Gen Chem 2, Physics 1, Physics 2 sa STEM, di ba? Yung mga ganon. Whole to part approach, and of course chronological naman kapag ito ay timeline or history yung discussion natin. So again, madami pang principles of sequencing, no, sa curriculum natin. Okay, so if you take a look at this one, this is a table of continuity and table of continuity. This is a table of sequence and continuity. For the curriculum 1 and curriculum 2, ang problema sa curriculum 1, anong problema sa curriculum 1? What problem? Anong makikita natin? Is it continuity or sequence? Hello? Ang makikita nating problem sa curriculum 1 ay sequence. Kasi A, B, C, D, E, F. Sorry. A, B, C, D, E, F. Ay, mali ako na ano. Sa curriculum, curriculum 1 ang tama pala. Curriculum 3 ang
sequence po.
Okay, very good. No? Sa curriculum 3, sequence ang problem. Sa curriculum 2, continuity ang problem. So ang tama lang ay si curriculum 1. Curriculum 1 has a proper sequence and proper continuity of lessons. But take note, ha, sa delivery pa rin po magkakatalo kung paano i-deliver ng teacher yung curriculum, no. Now, ayaw natin ng curriculum 2 kasi napuputol yung continuity. Nangyayari to kapag yung teacher ay namimili lang ng topic na gusto niyang ituro. Curriculum 3, nawawalan ng sequence. Nangyayari ito kapag hindi ready si teacher. Yung nagpo-proceed muna siya sa lesson D before siya mag-proceed sa lesson C kasi hindi niya pa nahanda yung lesson C. Okay? Questions so far? So again, the dimensions of curriculum are balance, articulation, scope, integration, continuity, and sequence. Okay? So basics lang po. Now let's go to curricular elements. So let's talk about the curricular elements. Okay. So the first element of curriculum is selection of objective. Um, as mentioned din kanina, should describe behavior, state analytically. These are the things that I've mentioned kanina, no, in developing your objectives. This is the same lang din. It should be smart, and should cover the three objective domains. The second one is selection of content. We have validity, significance and relevance, balance of breadth and depth, learnability, appropriateness, and utility. I've already mentioned this a while ago. For selection of learning experience, I've also mentioned this, appropriateness, variety, optimal value, and feasibility. Sana naaalala nyo pa yan kasi same lang din yan. Pero yung susunod na dalawa medyo iba na. Ano yung pang-apat, no? Grade placement. So involves allocation of content to definite grade capable of learning. So consider the factors. Una, child's ability. Needs assessment, aalamin mo kung ano yung kayang gawin ng bata, yung kanyang skills, no. Second is difficulty of items. Third is importance of the content. Ano yung content na appropriate for the grade. Level of maturation depending on the age or year level. Next is mental age and experiential background. Why is it important to know the experiential background? Because the experiential background also influences largely the mental age or the maturation of the student, of the learner. A learner with more experiences are found to be more mature and have higher mental age. Time allotment. So time allotment refers to the specification of definite items for subject or course amount time given per subject. So does it mean na mas mahaba yung oras ng subject na yun, mas mahalaga siya? Does it mean that way? The answer po is no. Now, there are many things to consider. Una is all subjects are important. Sabihin ko na yon. Although nakalagay dyan importance of the subject. Relevance, so siguro relevance for the program if the subject is a major subject for the program. Siguro sabihin natin more important. But in high school, in a general education, in a progressive view, all subjects are equal. Okay? Child's ability, grade level, and average number of days per hour ang basis ng time natin. As I've mentioned kanina, math and science have longer time offered because of according to studies, it requires longer time for them to to study in order to acquire the knowledge. Kailangan yung mas mahabang oras. Okay? Para mas ma-acquire mo yung knowledge. Okay? So again, the elements of curriculum, we have the selection of objectives, selection of content, learning experience, grade placement, and time allotment. Questions so far? Do we have any questions so far, guys? None. Okay. Pakita ko lang din to, no? This is learning outcome of students. We have a deductive and inductive design. The deductive design is from institutional student learning outcomes to course student learning outcomes. While inductive delivery naman is course student learning outcomes to institutional student learning outcomes. This simply tells us that it always goes together, no? From the institutional level to the course and course to the institution. Let's talk about the curricular models, stakeholders, and alignment. Now, the models that I will be discussing, the models of curriculum, is not all, no, but I've selected some curricular models that I found relevant and could be helpful for everyone. Okay, so what is a curricular model? A curricular model is a significant change, specifically in a society system, always requires a model and any significant changes. No? So, laging may model ang mga structures na meron tayo in a society. So, for our case, no, the curricular model tells us about the structure of curriculum. The first model that we're going to talk about is the AIM model. I call this the TAM model. First is objectives, second is content, third is materials, fourth is teacher's activity, students activity, and then test activities. Papansinin ninyo, no, while presenting, mapapansin ninyo later on that there are the elements or the elements are almost the same, no? Pero nagkakaiba lang sa mga structures or nagkakaiba lang sa arrangement or may nadadagdag or may nababawas. Pero halos pare-parehas lang sila. So the TAM model focuses on what? The objectives. Kasi the objectives is where the goals is reflected and where the aim is reflected. So every time na dapat na-attain yung objective, na-attain si goals and aims. So next is Taba's inverted model. Are you familiar with Hilda Taba? So Hilda Taba or the Taba's inverted model, TIM naman ang tawag ko dito, kanina TAM, ito naman TIM. Model of curriculum development ties theory to practice. This is a grassroots model. Bakit grassroots model ito? Bottom up. Paano ka ba magdamo? Di ba bottom up? Nag-grassroots ka from bottom to up. Grassroots model. So, starts with una, diagnosis of needs. Ito ay naging grassroots model because it starts from bottom to up. You need to know what are the needs of your students before you create your objectives. Nakakasabay ho ba? Bottom up ito. Grassroots model, magda-diagnose muna ng needs ng student bago ka mag-create ng objectives. Hindi ka mag-create ng objectives bigla-bigla. The third one is selecting content. So once you've already identified no, your the needs of your students, you develop the objectives, and then you decide to select the content. So select your content na. Then afterwards, you organize the content. You select the content on the basis that I've mentioned kanina on the selection of content, and then you organize the content based on proper continuity and sequencing. Step 5 is select teaching and learning experience. Bakit mahalaga na malaman kung anong teaching and learning experience? Because again, it will provide the meaningful learning. After selecting, you have to organize. So select, organize, select, organize. Lastly is evaluating unit. So if it is already being implemented, no, it has to be evaluated. But before full implementation, it has to be step 8. You have to check the basics. Ano ulit yung basics? You have to check the dimensions of curriculum if it is adequate. Okay, if it is properly and well implemented. Or well prepared rather. Clear po dito, guys? Is this clear?
Yes po.
Okay. Next is, so this is the TIM model. Next is the TEM model. TEM is Tyler's and means model. TEM is from Ralph Tyler. No, Ralph Tyler. So end means model. So the ends justifies the means. No, so dapat ma-attain itong mga to. Philosophy, aim, goals, and objectives, it should be reflected in the curriculum content and activities. Ito ay kabaliktaran nung kay Hilda Taba. Taba's inverted model kasi bottom up yon. Ito naman kay Tyler, top down. Kung ano yung prinsipyo ng school, kung ano yung prinsipyo ng program, ito dapat yung malagay sa curriculum and content of the activities. Again, these types of curriculum varies ha. Ang Tyler's end means model curriculum, this is usually seen in academies like PMA, PNPA. May prinsipyo na yung yung school nila. Ang gagawin, i-inculcate na lang yun sa curriculum nila sa mga academies, no, or Catholic schools, ganun din. Okay. So philosophy, learner, and society, curriculum development model begins with school and teachers philosophy. So school and teachers philosophy, okay? school and teachers philosophy po ang magde-determine kung ano nga ba yung lalamanin ng curriculum. Kabaliktaran nung kay Hilda Taba na manggagaling sa estudyante. Next is the Oliva model or the TOM naman. Di ba? TAM, team, TEM, TOM. So, TOM. So, TOM, statement of philosophy. And then you derive your goals from those philosophies. And then you derive your objective from the goals, design of plans, and implementation and evaluation. So there's actually a bigger chunk of Oliva's model pero hindi ko na ipapakita sa inyo. It's up to you if you can search on the 12 steps of Oliva's model. No? It states that the aim of education and their philosophical and psychological principles. It also includes societal and students' needs, which are invaluable parts of the curriculum models, and it specifies curricular goals and objectives based on the aims, beliefs, and needs. Okay, we also have SAM. SAM is Saylor and Alexander model. They are largely influenced by external variables. Ano nga ba yung mga external variables? We have the society, the national government agencies, non-government agencies, the society per se, no, the parents, okay? So, ayun yung magde-define ng aims, goals, and objectives niya. So, yung kay Hilda Taba, manggagaling sa student, yung kay Ralph Tyler, yung galing sa mismo sa school, itong kay Sam, manggagaling sa demand ng society or manggagaling sa hinihingi ng society. Ayun yung aims, goals, and objectives, curriculum design, curriculum implementation, and curriculum evaluation. And then pwede kang bumalik. No? Okay. Now, there are schools na ganito, na responsive. If you remember, no, there was a trend in the Philippines that nursing became a trend na dapat mag-nurse ka. May mga universities na hindi nag-offer ng nursing. Bakit? Kasi yung mga universities na yon ay may mandate. Balikan ko si Tyler. Si Tyler ay may principal sa school. Okay? May principal sa school. Ano yung mga schools na hindi nag-offer ng nursing kahit sobrang trend ng nursing that time? Siyempre, hindi nag-offer ng nursing ang PMA at PNPA kasi may mandate sila. Hindi din nag-offer ang TUP kasi technical school ang TUP. Hindi din nag-offer ang PNU ng nursing kasi normal school or teaching school ang PNU. But if the curriculum of the different universities is somehow similar to the structure of the curriculum of Saylor and Alexander model, mag-o-offer kami ng nursing. Bakit kami mag-o-offer ng nursing? Kasi yun yung hinihingi ng external variable. Okay? So it is largely dependent on the demand of the society. While yung mga nabanggit kong schools kanina, largely related naman to the Tyler's model. Again, I'm not labeling them as is na from Tyler, no. I'm saying is that they did not offer because they have a mandate. May philosophy si school, may aim si school na hindi kasama doon yung offering ng isang program na nursing. Okay? So the arrangement is goals, objectives, and domains, curriculum design, curriculum implementation, and curriculum evaluation. So curriculum is a plan for providing sets of learning opportunities to achieve broad educational goals and related specific objectives for an identifiable population, which are the students in every year level or in a certain program. Okay? Questions so far regarding the different models of the curriculum. So we talked about 5 models, pero hindi lang ito yung mga model. No, we talked about TAM, the AIM model. We talked about TIM, Tabas inverted model. We talked about TEM, Tyler's and Means model. We talked about ano ba yung isa? Some yung 5, di ba? Some TAM. Tom pala, sorry, Tom. So, we talk about TAM, Team, TEM, Tom model, and of course, SAM model, yung panglima, the sailor ends means model. Okay? Now, what did you notice in most of the models? No? Napansin ninyo sa lahat ng models na ito, laging nandun syempre si objectives, hindi din mawawala si content, si learning experience, and of course, may iba doon na pumasok na din yung curriculum implementation and then curriculum evaluation. Okay? So somehow almost similar pa rin naman, but it still varies on what is the source of curriculum, what are the basis on changing the curriculum, no, and the arrangement of the uh, sequence of development or model. Okay? Now let's go to stakeholders of curriculum. Ano nga bang ibig sabihin ng stakeholders? They are the participants or they are the ones who tells us the what changes, what curricular changes should we do in the education system. So who are the stakeholders of the curriculum? Sino mga stakeholders ng curriculum nakita natin? First are teachers. Pero tandaan natin, no, sinasabi nila teachers are charged to implement the curriculum. But the role of the teacher is not only to implement the curriculum. Teachers are meant to DIE, to die. Bakit die? Teachers are mandated to develop, implement, and evaluate the curriculum. Dapat ang teacher, part siya ng development kasi siya yung nag-i-implement eh. At dapat i-evaluate natin kung effective pa ba yun. Kaya ang mahirap kapag nasa managerial position na, nakakalimutan nila yung mga paghihirap na dinadanas nila nung nasa battlefield sila as teachers sa classroom. Kasi nagbabago yung panahon. So dapat ang teachers in general should be part in crafting different policies, different curriculum that we have right now. So development, implementation, and evaluation. So if you see a question, which among the stakeholders of curriculum are charged to implement the curriculum, the answer is teachers. Second naman is which among the stakeholders are the largest stakeholders? The answer is students. Students are the largest stakeholders of the curriculum. Why? Because they are our clients. Principal or directors or school president, no, they are the education leaders. Curricular specialists or content specialists, supervisors and superintendents, and school boards. School boards, this is only present for private schools or for universities, the Board of Regents. These are called the internal stakeholders. Internal stakeholders ito kasi within the educational system. Sige nga teachers, tanungin ko kayo, which among these, between becoming a principal and becoming a superintendent, anong mas gusto ninyo? Sige nga. Type A if you want to be a principal and type B if you want to be a superintendent. Ano lang muna to? This is a parking lot question. Want to be an A, principal. Okay. Lahat kayo gusto maging principal. Wow, that's nice, no? That's good. Thank you. Usually kasi if I ask that in different trainings and hati yan talaga. May gusto maging superintendent, may gusto maging principal. Pero ang idea is that ang superintendent kasi by rank mas mataas siya, pero si principal, he or she has her own kingdom to rule daw, sabi nila. Kaya mas madaming gusto talaga mag-principal kasi may sarili kang kaharian. But anyway, it's not your kingdom, no? It is a school, it's not a kingdom or anything. It's a educational community, ika nga, di ba? Okay, so these are the internal stakeholders. Hindi dito natatapos, no? Meron tayong tinatawag na external stakeholders outside the educational system. Parents, no? Kaya nga tayo may PTA, pag nagbibigay ng cards sa junior high, sa high school or elementary, kailangan kasama si parents. Because, no? kasama na din yung PTA meeting eh. Kasi tayo nga mga guro ay pangalawang magulang na ng mga estudyante natin. So parents, and of course, the national government and agencies, as I have mentioned, the society in general, anything inside and outside the educational system can affect the education system. Okay. So next is curriculum alignment. Curriculum alignment. Sige, what is curriculum alignment? So alignment between curriculum and day lang po ha. Sorry about that. Anyway, alignment between curriculum and the one more of the following elements: state standards, standardized tests, curriculum embedded tests, students assignments, lesson plan, textbooks, and instructions. So when we talk about curricular alignments in general, this is alignment between the objectives, content, learning experience, and evaluation. And kasama na din doon, nakapaloob na doon lahat, pati na din yung materials, the textbooks, instructional materials, nandun na din yung lesson plans, no? Nandun na din yung mga forms of evaluation. So dapat aligned iyon. Kaya hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na kapag nasa objectives mo ay what we call this identification, tapos dun sa exam mo or dun sa activity mo ay definition pa lang pinagawa mo. Careful tayo sa mga ganung bagay. Okay, why do we need to have curriculum alignment? So, we do curriculum alignment in order to address two major curricular problems. Ano yon? Ano yung dalawang major curricular problems? Dalawa, yung curriculum gap and curriculum overlap. No, curriculum gap, also referred as learning gap. It is a disparity between what student has actually learned and what he or she is expected to learn in particular age or grade level. Naranasan nyo na ba yung ganito? Habang nagtuturo si teacher, sasabihin ni teacher, oh dapat alam nyo na yan, naturo na dapat yan last year, o dapat alam nyo na to, naturo na to sa ibang subject, dapat mabilis na lang natin to pag-uusapan. Naranasan nyo na ba yon? Naranasan nyo na?
Yes po.
Dapat alam nyo na kasi dapat naturo na yan sa inyo last year. Okay? Ang tawag doon ay curriculum gap. Ibig sabihin, dalawa lang yan. Either hindi ka talaga nakikinig last year or talagang merong curriculum gap na dapat naturo yun last year pero hindi naturo, hindi nahabol dahil nag-end yung academic year. Very evident to sa DepEd. Pagdating ng fourth grading, gawaan na ng grade, yung lesson for the fourth grading, kalahati lang yung naaabot. Kalahati na yung naaabot. Ang tawag natin doon ay curriculum gap. Okay, may nagsabi dito. Pero di ko na ituturo ngayon. Ituturo naman yan next year. Nako, kaya dapat talaga nag-uusap yung mga teachers kung hanggang saan ka matatapos para alam nila kung saan mag-uumpisa the next academic year, yung susunod na teacher. Kasi that's curriculum gap yun eh. Very curriculum gap naman yun. Kaya kailangan natin mag-alignment talaga. Curriculum planning and alignment. The next one is curriculum overlap. Okay, so curriculum overlap naman, referred as learning overlap, it is a repetition of topic instruction across the grade level. Naranasan nyo na, habang nagtuturo si teacher, bigla nyo namang sinabi, sir, alam na po namin yan, naturo na po sa amin yan last year. Sir, alam na po namin yan, naturo na po ni ma'am, ni sir, Naranasan nyo na din yon? Naranasan nyo na? Yung, naturo na yan, Kaya alam na po namin yan. Ang tawag naman doon ay curriculum overlap. Take note, pwede po tayong mag-review. Review of the topic. Pero kapag kinover to cover pa ni sir yung topic, ang tawag naman doon ay curriculum overlap. Tapos kayo namang mga estudyante tuwang-tuwa na alam nyo na hindi nyo sinabi sa teacher nyo na naturo na pala para perfect kayo sa exam. No? Hindi naman yun maganda. Okay? So, dapat ano tayo, alam natin bilang mga guro, no, to align, to have alignment to prevent these kinds of curricular problems, the curriculum overlap and curriculum gap. There are two types of curricular alignments. These are vertical and horizontal alignment. So, puntahan natin ang vertical alignment. So the vertical alignment is planning of curriculum across the grade levels from kindergarten through high school and building upon instruction based upon the standards. So from kinder to high school. Actually, hanggang college nga yan eh. Okay? But anyway, tingnan muna natin ang educational process ng basic education. So from kinder to senior high school, there should be a vertical alignment kasi spiral progression tayo eh. So dapat aligned yung content ng first year level, second year, third year, no? Grade 1 to pataas. So halimbawa, vertical alignment, yung nakikita niyo ngayon sa screen ko, this is first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter, and then grade 7, 8, 9, and 10. Itong mga parts na may shade na yellow, ayan yung mga parts na may parts ng chemistry. Kasi ang science po ngayon sa high school hindi na po dati 'di ba first year is earth science, second year is bio, third year is chem, fourth year is physics. Ngayon po integrated science ang tawag sa kanila, meaning all the four subjects of science is present in every year level. So for this case, sinade ko yung may chemistry na part. Okay. So dapat, can you see the arrow? Hindi po. Yung arrow cursor ko po. Can you see the cursor? Yes or no po?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir po.
You can see. Okay. Ngayon, in every year level, first quarter chemistry. Ngayon, kung saan natapos si first quarter chemistry nung grade 7, sa grade 8, sa third quarter, itutuloy niya kung saan natapos dito. Okay? Tapos kung saan naman natapos sa third quarter, itutuloy niya sa second quarter ng grade 9. Kung saan natapos yung grade 9, itutuloy niya sa fourth quarter ng grade 10. Ganun po yung vertical alignment. Medyo mahirap siya tingnan pero pag na-appreciate nyo kung paano ano yung relationship ng iba't ibang sciences per year level, mamaya papaliwanag ko, ma-appreciate nyo na okay lang din naman pala. Pero for this case, mahirap yun. Babalikan mo kung ano yung inaral ng bata first quarter, sa grade 8, babalikan mo yung inaral ng bata first quarter. E di nag-expire na yun. Ilang quarters yung dumaan? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Limot na ng bata, di ba? So challenging din yon on our ends. I think we should reflect again on our curriculum. But anyway, that's vertical alignment, no? Vertical alignment yon kasi across year level. Habang tumataas yung year level, tumataas din yung content. So this is based on the curriculum guide from DepEd. If you see this, ang offering po ng science is from grade 3 to 6 sa elementary. So lahat ng first quarter is about matter. Pagdating ng grade 7, dun na po nag-iiba. Okay? Now let's go to horizontal alignment. So horizontal alignment naman, alignment of curriculum being taught by teachers in a common grade level. So example, kagaya na nabanggit ko kanina sa isang year level, sa fourth year or grade 10, ino-offer si economics, ino-offer din topic on economics, topic in formal writing sa English, and topic on entrepreneurship naman sa TLE. So yung product development, i-grade ng TLE teacher, yung business plan writing si English teacher, yung market analysis naman si economics teacher. So, yon. That's the reason why actually those subjects are offered at the same year level, because it could be an option for teachers to collaborate. Now, that's horizontal alignment because you see possible integration of different subjects with other subjects at the same year level. So, another example again, science pa rin tayo. Pagdating sa grade 10, although may iba-ibang sciences dyan, chemistry is at the fourth quarter, nandiyan si earth sci, biochem, and physics, you know what you will notice? There's a relationship of each subject. Dati, kapag old curriculum ka, pag tinanong ka what is biology, you would answer that what is circulatory system, you would say that it is under biology, di ba? Pero if you are an integrated science students, expected that you would recognize that circulatory system is not only biology. It is majorly biology, but there's chemistry behind it kasi may change of oxygenated and deoxygenated blood sa lungs, and at the same time high pressure, that's chemistry. May physics din. High pressure pushes low pressure pulls, the pumping of the heart. 'Di ba? The pumping of the heart sa blood natin, no? Pressure is applied to that. Okay? So you will see a relationship of those different sciences, may integration yan. Kaya nga siya tinawag na integrated science. Hindi lang talaga siya na ipapaliwanag talaga ng maayos. But anyway, that's horizontal alignment. Let's go to curriculum triangle alignment. The curriculum triangle alignment, this is more observed in an instructional level of curriculum. Okay. So the first one is written curriculum or objectives. These specify what is to be taught and is produced by the state, the school system, school and the classroom teacher. Ano ito? Ito yung curriculum guide. Ito yung dapat lamanin ng lesson mo. Ito din yung lesson plan na sinulat ni teacher at pinrepare ni teacher na sinulat pa niya sa DLP niya. O kaya naman sa college, ito yung syllabus na galing sa CMO ng CHED. Okay? Ngayon, ayan yung hinanda ni teacher. However, the next one is taught curriculum, the instructional level. What the teacher actually teach in the classroom. Okay, so sana aligned. Kung ano yung nakasulat sa lesson plan mo, dapat yun din yung masunod sa iyong actual teaching. Okay, and of course, the last one is tested, provides valuable feedback about each student's understanding of the essential content, concept, and skills. Okay, so ayan. So it has to be aligned. But take note, no, lesson plan is a very important plan. Pero allowed ka na naman mag-deviate. Your lesson plan is your plan A. You can do to plan B, plan C, and plan D. Kapag may tanong yung bata, alangan naman hindi mo sagutin kasi wala sa lesson plan mo, di ba? You have to answer it while the pot is still hot. Ika nga. No, so you have to answer. Okay? But no, take note that you have an objective to attain that day. Dapat ma-attain mo 'yon kahit anong path pa yung i-take mo, whether plan A, plan B, plan C, or plan D. Okay? So there are benefits of curriculum alignment. We have improved students' test scores by making sure the information a teacher teaches in our classroom lines up the information covered on the standardized tests. So confidence that the students will pass kasi nga naturo mo yung kailangang maituro na nandoon sa iyong lesson na mandate ng national policy or ng DepEd. Teachers can collaborate together more effectively for they all have the same basic goal of their classroom. So as I've mentioned kanina, teachers can have collaborative approach in teaching their students. Helps a school or individual teacher prove the students are learning material, prove the students and learning materials that lines up with the state standards. The students can travel from school and still have the same basic instruction. So, isang bata from provinces, lumipat siya sa Metro Manila, nag-aral, naging performing student pa rin siya. Kahit na kasi performing student din siya doon, paglipat niya dito, performing student pa rin siya because the standards are the same. The expected outcome from the previous year has been attained na relevant for this academic year. So, definitely magiging performing student din yung bata. And lastly, ensure an increase in the student's academic performance. So, curriculum alignment plays a vital role in increasing the academic performances of the students because it makes sure that it is aligned with the national, local, national man yan or local, and even a global standard of education. Okay? So, it's already 10 o'clock, pero nasa pang last na topic pa lang ako ng curriculum development, the curriculum implementation, evaluation, change, and improvement. May I ask permission if it's okay if I continue this, and then after this, magpapa-break na lang ako before we proceed to the next part, if that's okay.
Okay, sir.
Miss
Okay
Ken,
po.
I'm really sorry. Medyo napahama. But anyway, thank you po. So, I will continue this no since ako naman po ang makakasama ninyo buong araw. I'll just give you a break na lang kasi medyo mabilis lang din naman yung magiging discussion natin for the next lesson because I've already mentioned some of it here and will mention some of it later in the field study. Okay. So, let's proceed to curriculum implementation, evaluation, change, and improvement. Yung unang pinag-usapan nating dalawa, yung curriculum foundations of curriculum development and fundamental concepts, no, those are pivotal in na pinag-usapan natin 3, 4, and 5 kasi 3, 4, and 5 talked about curriculum development. Now after developing a curriculum, anong susunod mong gagawin? You have to, of course, implement the curriculum. Okay? So, curriculum implementation. So, what is curriculum implementation? Simply, the implementation is the interaction between those who have created the program and those who are charged to deliver it. Again, question, who are charged to deliver the curriculum? These are the teachers, di ba? Teachers are charged to deliver the curriculum or the content to the learners. Now, during this implementation, ano yung mga dapat nating tandaan? No? So again, teachers are meant to develop, implement, and evaluate curriculum. Now, classroom management is very important. You have to establish a routine. Establish routine earlier of the year or school year. Maganda po na dapat unang meetings pa lang established na. Enables you to run activities daily in a smooth manner kasi hindi mo na kailangan magpaulit-ulit. Pero minsan ng mga bata, kailangan mo talaga magpaulit-ulit. Helps you maintain order in the class if you set a conditioned approach. Example, using brain-based education, they say, pag sinabi ko, class, you say yes, class, yes, class, yes, yes. Okay naman, 1, 2, eyes on you, 3, 4, talk no more. That's an approach in basic education that they use no, in order to get the attention of the students. Okay? Makes you focus in teaching because you spend less time in giving directions and instructions kasi nagawa mo na yun sa first part pa lang. So makakapag-focus ka na sa content discussion and enables you to explain to the learners what are expected to them. So in classroom management, in implementation of your curriculum, it's important that you have a classroom management skill because no matter how beautiful your lesson plan is, if it is not properly implemented, teaching and learning process will not happen. Okay? Now, sa classroom, I think familiar kayo kay Robert Gagne, di ba? Are you familiar with Robert Gagne? Okay. I'm not saying that this is the only structure that we follow in teaching, but predominantly all over the world, this is the structure that we follow. Okay, from Robert Gagne. Una, you gain the attention of the students. Gain the attention of the students. Kaya dapat si teacher pagpasok pa lang ng classroom, makuha niya na agad yung attention ng mga bata. Okay? Next is inform learner of the objectives. Today we're going to talk about, okay, sa gain attention papasok dyan, pwede din pumasok dyan yung kindly pick up the pieces of paper, yung co-condition mo na sila, prayer, and then inform learner of the objective. Today we're going to talk about, yan, ganyan, and then recall prior knowledge. In the previous discussion, we talked about, and then you will bridge it or allow the students to bridge it or allow them to discuss the prior knowledge. It's up to you as a teacher. Present the materials, Hindi yung isa-isahin mong ilalabas yung mga gamit na gagamitin mo. What I'm trying to say is the learning material that you will use, provide guided learning, elicit performance, allow them to, dito papasok yung yung experiential level of curriculum. Of course, provide feedback. Kapag nagpa-facilitate tayo ng knowledge, hindi lang dapat tayo yes ng yes. Baka mamaya mali na yung sinasabi ng estudyante mo, yes ka pa rin ng yes. And of course, assess performance. Assessment of the performance of the students also is very tedious, really, especially if it's not a multiple choice, if it is or if it is not a traditional assessment, if it is an authentic assessment, talagang tedious ang checking ng performance assessment. And of course, enhance retention and transfer by evaluation or by giving them assignment. Na yung assignment nila dapat deepening of the current topic or introduction to the next topic. So napansin ninyo, no? Itong pattern na to, yung usual yung ginagawa ng mga teachers ninyo. Napansin niyo ba yon? Napansin niyo po? So ito yung, thank you. Ito yung patterns na sinasabi ni Robert Gagne na dapat nating sundin sa instructions natin to allow a smooth flow of discussion. Pero, kung si Robert Gagne ay sinabi may mga bagay tayo na dapat sundin, si Jacob Kunin, kilala niyo ba si Jacob Kunin? May nakakilala po ba kay Jacob Kunin? Si Jacob Kunin, may sinabi din siya na dapat nating iwasan habang nagtuturo. Una, flip-flop. Familiar kayo dito? Flip-flop. Teacher terminates one activity, begins another, and then returns to the original activity. Nangyayari to. Yung teacher ninyo, wala nang maturo. Anong ginawa niya? Nagbigay na lang ng activity. Pagkabigay ng activity, tapos na-realize niya na may kulang pa siyang i-discuss, nagwala yung mga bata, ma'am, hindi niyo pa po natuturo itong pina-activity ninyo, tapos sasabihin ni teacher, sige, discuss ko muna ulit bago niyo ituloy. Nangyayari to?
Opo, nangyayari.
Nangyari yan.
Yes po.
Iwasan niyo po magbigay ng activity na hindi niya pa naturo sa bata. Pangalawa, overdwelling. Teacher spends more time than is necessary to correct the infraction of classroom rules. So, overdwelling is overdwelling to a certain topic. Kasi kami mga teacher, may mga favorite kaming topic. Tayong mga teacher, may mga magiging favorite tayong topic. Habang nagtuturo ka, dahil yun yung favorite topic mo, hinabaan mo yung topic mo doon, tapos iniksian mo sa ibang lesson. O kaya naman, dahil alam ng estudyante mo na favorite topic mo yun, habang nagdi-discuss ka, yung estudyante nagtanong, ang ganda ng tanong ng bata. Sinagot mo. Sinusugan ng isang classmate, sir, paano kapag ganito? Sinusugan mo ulit. Natuwa ka doon kasi tanong ng tanong yung mga bata. Ang tawag doon ay overdwelling. Nagulat ka, time na hindi mo na-attain. Sa tatlong objective mo, isa lang na-attain mo. Kasi nag-dwell ka lang sa isang topic. Nangyayari to, hindi? Nangyayari?
Nangyayari din po.
Nangyayari. Minsan sinasadya pa ng estudyante magtanong para hindi mag-quiz. Diba? Next one is fragmentation. So teacher breaks direction into choppy steps instead of one fluid unit. 'Di ba gusto natin sa lesson seamless ang discussion. Hindi mapapansin ng bata na na magulat na yung bata, ay patapos na pala tayo, ang galing ni sir, tuloy-tuloy. Parang yung momentum ng teaching and learning good. Pero fragmentation, ito yung noticeable yung transition mo na tinatantusan ka ng bata, matagal pa ba tayo? Malapit na tayo. Okay, this is also based on the instructions of the teacher. Next is thrust. Thrust is teacher interrupts classroom momentum with random unrelated comments. Random unrelated comments. Overdwelling, nag-overdwell ka sa lesson. Isang lesson lang na favorite mo or nagustuhan mong in-address mo kasi yung mga question. Yun yung overdwelling. Pero pag thrust, ito yung nagtuturo si teacher tapos bigla niyang sinabi, ako kasi or kasi sa thrust naman, teacher, sinabi ko kanina, di ba? Sa overdwelling, content ang dinidiscuss niya. Kapag thrust, biglang sasabihin ni teacher, kami kasi dati ganito, ganyan. Hanggang sa tuloy-tuloy ng lesson, naging kwento na ng buhay niya. Nangyayari to, hindi. Does this happen?
Nangyayari.
Nangyayari po ito. Common event ito, okay? Ang tawag natin nun ay thrust. Iiwasan natin 'yon, okay? Pero okay lang naman na mag-relate tayo bilang mga guro. Nung time namin ganon. Kaya back to lesson agad. Para lang ma-relate mo, para lang magkaroon ka ng interpersonal relationship with the students. Pero ang mangyayari ay ang maiuuwi ng bata sa bahay nila ay hindi yung lesson mo, kundi yung kwento ng buhay mo, ay hindi na iyon sinabi ni Jacob Kunin, yun yung mga patterns na dapat nating iwasan kasi it breaks the momentum. Okay? Pwedeng personal life niya, pwedeng bigla niyang siningit yung issues on politics or the issues on anything that is outside the lesson, no? Pero more common sa life niya. Ganun kasi mas common talaga nangyari to. Bigla naging kwento ng buhay niya. So tatandaan teachers, no, kapag tayo ay nagturo, dapat ang maiuwi ay ang meat of the curriculum, which is the content and subject matter, at hindi ang kwento ng buhay mo. Okay? And the next po is dangles or dangling. Teachers begin as a thought and then leaves it hanging without completion. Ito yung mga teacher na nagtatanong tapos di nila sinasagot yung tanong nila. Tapos sasabihin nila, assignment mo yan ngayon. Tapos the following week, nag-ready ka ng assignment mo, so di ka naman niya tinanong. Tawag doon ay dangling. Iniiwan ka sa ere. Nangyayari to hindi. Nangyayari ba to?
Madalas.
Madalas. Nangyayari din to. Okay, o kaya naman sa mathematics, ewan ko sa mga math major dito. Nag-compute ka, tatanungin mo yung prof mo kung tama ba, sabihin sa'yo, check mo. Ikaw yung mag-iisip kung tama ba yun. But anyway, I'm telling this because again, lumalabas to sa board exams. And apart from that, I'm telling this para iwasan natin yung mga ganitong patterns habang tayo yung Okay pa? Is this clear?
Yes po, sir. Okay po.
So during the implementation of the curriculum or during the teaching process, you may follow the pattern of Robert Gagne. It's not the only pattern, but it's the ideal and most used pattern of instruction. But prevent the patterns mentioned by Jacob Kuni na dapat nating iwasan. Okay, wag natin po itong mga gagawin. May certain times na magagawa mo paminsan-minsan yan, pero wag lagi. No? Lalo na yung thrust. Yung nag-overshare ka ng life mo. Okay. In the implementation of the curriculum in classroom, it's important that we answer these questions. Okay. So you can see in the diagram, here that you have learning goals, content, assessment task, learning experience, and the learning experience shows the teaching methods and learning activities. Now, you have to answer these questions. No, what objects do I hope to accomplish as a result of instruction? What topics or content will I have to cover? What teaching methods or strategies should I use to direct learning and achieve the objectives? And how do I evaluate the instruction to determine whether I successfully achieve the objectives? So if you see, the first question is determining really of your objectives. What objective do I hope to accomplish as a result of instruction? So, dapat alam mo na agad kung ano yung gusto mong ma-attain ng mga students mo during the instruction. But you also have to know, consider your content. Ano yung coverage ng content mo? And more importantly, no matter how beautiful your content is, if it is not properly delivered because of your inappropriate strategy, hindi tama yung strategy mo, definitely you will not attain the objective. So dapat maganda din ang strategy mo or method mo as a teacher. And of course, you have to prepare an appropriate evaluation on the basis of your objective and content. Kung sinabi mo sa objective ay identify, iti identification ng activity. Determine, iti determination yung activity. Calculate, calculation yung activity natin. Okay? Okay. So it is important that we follow the lesson that we prepared. Kaya tedious po ang curriculum planning. Very tedious ang curriculum planning. Development, yung discussion natin ng development, 3 lessons. Pero sa implementation, evaluation, and change, 1 lesson lang tayo. Okay, kasi mabilis lang. Tapos na tayo sa implementation. Yun lang, warnings lang siguro sa mga proper routines. No? Let's go to curriculum evaluation. In curriculum evaluation, so it's a process of delineating, obtaining, and providing useful information for judging decision alternatives. So it involves value judgment about the curriculum. Did we do what we wanted to do? When we develop the curriculum, we are planning or we develop an aim, a goal, and objective. Ngayon, nakuha ba natin yung mga objective na yun? Yung mga goals and aims na yun? Yun yung i-check natin sa curriculum evaluation. So, why should we evaluate the curriculum? Why should we evaluate the curriculum? No? To meet the demands with current educational reforms, provide direction, security, and feedback for all concerns, determining the merit and worth of the program of study, evaluate the dimensions of curriculum, course improvement, decisions about individuals, administrative regulations. So ito yung mga areas of evaluation. So we have mission, statement, sequence, continuity, scope, articulation, balance, coherence. So pansinin ninyo, ano yung mga areas of evaluation? Familiar? Familiar?
Opo.
Yes po.
Ano yung napansin ninyo? Ito din yung
Basic.
Basics po.
yung basics. Ito din yung dimensions of curriculum. Kasi when you develop, you consider the dimensions of curriculum, yun yung dinevelop, yun yung ideal curriculum plan, no? Yun din yung i-evaluate. Siyempre kung ano yung ginawa mo, yun lang din yun naman i-evaluate. No? Okay. Now, there are different models of evaluation, pero hindi ko na po i-discuss lahat, no? Namili lang din po ako ulit. Quick discussions lang ito. We have the Tyler's objective-centered model. We know that Ralph Tyler is the father of evaluation, described in terms of rational and systematic movement of evaluation procedure. It gives importance to the continuing cycle of assessment, analysis, and improvement in as much as a major task of education is to keep improving the quality of education delivered via instruction which is primarily anchored on the mandated curriculum. So, bakit nga ba tayo nag-evaluate? We evaluate not to we evaluate not to destroy curriculum. In fact, we evaluate to determine what points to improve in the curriculum. We also have the Stuffle-Beams CIPP model. So, Stuffle-Beams CIPP model is the most significant characteristic of CIPP model is that it makes provisions for holistic evaluation. In fact, ang CIPP model, ginagamit din ito hindi lang sa educational systems, it also used in other managerial and other organizational institutions. Other business institutions rather. Its elements are system-oriented. Tandaan yung tatlong element ng CIPP model, system-oriented, highly structured, and holistic evaluation. CIPP stands for context evaluation. Dito papasok yung decision planning, i-evaluate yung decision planning area. Input evaluation, i-evaluate naman doon yung structuring design. Process evaluation, i-evaluate yung implementing decision. Product evaluation, i-implement naman yung recycling or cycling decision. Ito yung ano yung dapat pang i-improve after the implementation. Cycling is you are allowed to go back and repeat your procedure. Recycling is you create recycling pala is allowed. You go back to your first part and then continue what you're doing and improve it. And then cycling is creating a new one or innovating the existing. Also have the stakes responsive model. Tatlo lang yung elements ng model niya. Antecedent, ito yung bago before the curriculum change, and then transition pertains to the experiences that constitute the program, and then outcomes para ma-compare mo yung before and after the curriculum implementation. So assessment lang yan ng past and future curriculum. There are also different tools and methods and techniques for evaluation. Nandyan si questionnaire and checklists. Data collected is largely quantitative to facilitate analysis. Pwede ding interview stakeholders of education based on questions. So magugulat kayo, minsan yung mga teachers ninyo pinapatawag, interviewin about the curriculum or about the school. Observations, actual viewing of the process of curriculum. So minsan dito din papasok yung school visitations. Ito yung mga panahon na may biglang papasok sa kwarto ninyo habang nagtuturo yung teacher ninyo. O kaya naman ito yung sasabihin ng teacher ninyo na magpakabait kayo kasi may bisitang pupunta. Tapos nung pumasok yung teacher ninyo, nung nagtuturo yung teacher ninyo, nung dumating yung bisita, hindi kayo nag-behave, naggulo kayo, kinakabahan na yung teacher nyo nun. Kaya nagagalit yun sa inyo. Okay? So you have to nangyari to. This is an on-site evaluation of the curriculum and documentary review and analysis, actual visit of the documented process of curriculum. So mahalaga po ang paper trailing from the transition of the previous curriculum to the new curriculum and paper trailing in the new curriculum on all the process from the top to bottom. And then lastly is curriculum change and improvement. So nangyayari ang curriculum change again because we have to adapt with the society. A good curriculum responds to the needs of the society and vice versa. So hindi naman pwedeng yung curriculum natin ay stagnant na yun na lang din palagi, no? So what is curriculum change? Basic alteration in the structure and design of the learning experience based on the conceptions which may be at school, district, or national level. So to make difference by shifting new goals and needs. Change is structural, design, and goals shift. So kapag nag-iba kayo ng goals, nag-iba kayo ng structure at design, it's already curriculum change. Pero kapag enhancing lang naman or enriching or modifying, wala kayong binago sa structure, wala kayong binago sa design or goals, that's called curriculum improvement. Now, there are different classifications of change. The first one is software change. Software change is retooling your teachers. Ito yung preparing the process, no, preparing your teachers, okay, on their content. Ito yung nagpapadala sila ng seminars, ng trainings, okay, nagkaroon ng curriculum change. Okay, teachers, kailangan mahanda din kayo sa change. Software change ito, pati na din yung process, no? Pati na din yung curriculum per se, yung lesson plan nyo, i-update nyo na, o kaya naman yung syllabus, i-update nyo na, that's a software change. Now, the other one naman, hardware change. These are changing naman the learning materials or instructional materials as well as the school. So ito na yung time na mas maganda na yung classroom. I think, if I'm not mistaken, your university, as I observed po your university stepped up. Ang ganda ng hardware change ng university ninyo. If I'm not mistaken, kasi nakita ko sa FB page ninyo. Grabe. Pala kayong international school. But anyway, hardware change is retooling or increasing your learning materials and your classrooms. Okay, maganda na yung classrooms, adequate na siya. Yung learning materials niyo naman, in-improve na din, nag-ready ng mga books and other digital sources, no? And improve na din yung laboratory. So that's hardware change. Okay? Sana malinaw po yun, no? Ang software change po is process and teachers. Ang hardware change is the physical setup of the school. The physical setup and the hardbound materials, the instructional materials per se. Okay? Malinaw po. Kindly type 1 nga po at the chat section kung nakakasabay. Okay. So next is forms of change. We have substitution. So substitution is papalitan natin yung ginagamit nyo ngayon pero same pa rin yung same pa rin, no? Replacement of one particular element of the curriculum, be it a process or a product, with another one previously in use, such as new curriculum guide, new instructional plan, new instructional material, or replacement of the teachers and administrators. So substitution, kapag pinalitan nyo lang, example, libro. Meron kayong libro na ginagamit, palitan na natin yung libro nyo. Substitution pa rin yun kung libro pa rin yung ipapalit. Ay, libro pa rin yung ipapalit na instructional material. O kaya naman, new yung instructional plan ninyo, pero same content pa rin, substitution pa rin yun. Next is alteration. So pertains to change in current curriculum structure rather than replacement of whole curriculum course plan. So if you change it, example, libro ang gamit nyo ngayon, tapos pinalitan nila ng iPad, no? Tapos yung iPad na yun, nandun na lahat ng mga information or mga libro na available. Ang tawag natin doon ay alteration. So that's instructional material pa rin naman yun. Pinalitan mo yung instructional material from books to iPads. No? So kanina, yung libro sa substitution, libro na yung gamit, pinalitan mo lang ng bagong libro, substitution yon. Alteration, libro, the function is for learning material, pinalitan mo ng iPad, the function is still for learning material. Ang tawag naman doon ay alteration. Next is addition. So, sa addition, may libro ka na, magdadagdag ka pa ng iPad. So, ang tawag naman doon ay addition. So, those are just some examples. I will not be reading it na lang for the benefit of time. So, you are using new elements while retaining the old ones. So, you don't have to throw it away, unlike sa substitution. Okay? So, ang purpose ng addition is for enhancement. Ang purpose ng alteration is change. Okay? Lastly is restructuring. Ito talaga yung recast lahat. Babaguhin lahat from curriculum, from even for teachers, even content, babaguhin. Ang tawag natin dito ay restructuring. Ito yung pinaka-drastic form of change ng curriculum. Okay? So there are different strategies. So we have a participative problem-solving strategies, focuses on users of change and innovative, including their needs and how it is met. Meron din tayong planned linkage. This is when linkage among users of the curriculum to collaborate in planning change and innovations. Makikipag-usap ka sa iba't ibang institutions or iba't ibang schools din na mag-offer ng program na parehas ng academic program na i-offer ng school ninyo para mag-retool kayo or mag-prepare kayo sa changes na gagawin ninyo. No? So, at least may kasabay kayo magbago on the basis of your linkage. Coercive strategy. Ito yung coercive strategy. Ito yung nangyari sa atin sa K-12 because it's a law. It's RA 10533. It's a mandate that we have to follow. Ibig sabihin, whether we like it or not, we have to have a curriculum change. Yung planned linkage, ginusto yun ng program ninyo. Yung participative problem-solving strategies, you offer it because you see it fit to the changing needs of the society. Kaya nga yung coercive strategy, yun yung pinaka-persahan talaga. Kailangan nyo magpalit ng curriculum kasi sabi ng national government. And of course, open input strategies is sets of approaches of curriculum change and innovation. So ito yung open for change na curriculum. It may vary depending again on the academic institution. There are different models. We have research development and diffusion model. We have problem-solving model, and we have social interaction models. So those are the sequence. Sequence lang naman yan, yung mga nandyan. So you can read this. The slides will be provided to you. Don't worry. So planning and implementing. So the change agent, stakeholders of curriculum, the agents that initiates the innovative efforts or curricular change. Usually these are teachers or the education leaders. Next is the innovation, the implementation of curricular change or innovation, and then the user system, person or a group of people where the innovation and changes is directed. This is the students kasi sila yung client. So, sila yung gagamit ng curriculum. So, dapat kapag nagpapalit tayo ng curriculum, i-consult natin si expert, i-consult natin si teacher, and i-consult natin si student kasi sila yung system users. Sila yung sa kanila directed yung change if ever na magpalit ng curriculum. And of course, time, particular time period used or spent. So you have to be ready on the time that it will consume or the time that it will cover the transition, kung kailan magkakaroon ng curriculum change, kailan magta-transition, gaano kahaba yung transition, at kailan magkakaroon ng full implementation. Okay? So, do we have any questions so far?
None
May
po.
tanong. So, ayun, execution of teaching and learning is just at the tip of the iceberg. No? So kapag nakikita niyo yung mga teachers ninyo, definitely kayo din in the future teaching in front of you, that's just the tip of the iceberg. That's teaching or instructional level is only 20% of being a teacher. 80% is the preparation eh. Kaya yung curriculum development is the entire iceberg. Bakit entire iceberg ang curriculum development? Because it is the entire iceberg. This is because what do you call this? It is the entire iceberg because curriculum planning is from the development, implementation, and evaluation. So development, implement, and evaluate. So all across the curriculum, dapat participative si teacher. So yun. Okay, so the life of a teacher is very very tedious. No? Always remember that in the 21st century education, the center of the educational process is the students. Kahit anong models pa, kahit anong models pa yung aralin ninyo in the 21st century education, you will always see that the center of education are the students. Okay? The students. Learner-centered na po tayo in the 21st century. You may check and review these models once you have the copy of the slide because the slide will be provided to you. According to McKinsey 2007, the quality of an education system cannot exceed the quality of its teachers. So we have to, in order to improve the quality of education, we have to improve the quality of teachers. Kung gusto natin pagandahin ang educational system natin, kailangan ihanda natin ang mga magguro natin na maging magaling at mahusay. According to Dr. Corazon Sigua, my former professor, there is no perfect curriculum, only appropriate ones. Wala pong perfectong curriculum, hindi mas maganda ang curriculum natin kaysa sa curriculum ng mga nanay at tatay natin. It's only just appropriate. It's appropriate during their time and it's appropriate during our time. Take note that the curriculum is the backbone of education. So thank you for participating po and hashtag #TopTablet tayo. I'm sorry, sobrang nag-overtime ako. But don't worry, medyo mapapaaga naman tayo when it comes to the next lesson, no? Kasi medyo mabilis 'yon. And then if it's okay, itutuloy ko na lang siya with the field study later. Magpapaalam ako if it's okay to ito na yung magiging break natin para pag nag-start tayo later, tuloy-tuloy na ulit tayo. If that's permitted by Dean.
Okay lang po, sir.
Okay. So is it okay, Dean, na we resume by 12 tapos siguro baka 4 po tayo matapos.
Okay lang po, okay lang po. Natakal niyo naman po lahat eh.
But do you have questions po? Do you have questions from the participants?
None po.
None.
Clear. Salamat, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Wala na po.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
So thank you very much guys for listening and participating. So siguro magre-resume na lang tayo by 12 and then by 12 tuloy-tuloy na din tayo on our discussion on
Okay, sir.
part 2 and
See you po, see you.
Thank you po, Dean, and thank you everyone. God bless po sa inyo lahat.
Thank you po ulit,
Thank
sir.
you po.
Thank you so much.